This video is not advice. This is just purely things that I have not learned yet, and maybe the cognitive dissonance is dissonancing. Some of you might be like, Natalie, you're crazy. We know this. We already know this. No, but can I be completely honest for a second? A lot of people come online and run their mouths about advice that literally doesn't even apply to them. And that's exactly why I share ways I'm getting my shit together so that you can get your shit together, because I don't like this like moral superiority people have. Like, girl, I'm in my 20s and I'm trying to figure shit out. I'm like you, you're like me, and we're a family. To everyone new here, I'll put a timestamp on the screen to where you can skip to if you're not a bestie of mine. But if you're a bestie who's been subscribed to this channel for a long time, I actually made a free support group for you. It's called the Get Your Shit Together community. It's mainly marketed towards young adults, but everyone is welcome. It's a space where we all share ways we're getting our shit together. I'm currently doing a 21-day challenge, so you guys can try that out for 7 days free. After that, it's just $21, so if you enjoy guided videos by me, so go over there and check it out. I thought it would be a little bit more interesting than a Patreon, so for the real besties, go over there, show some support, because at the end of the day, we're all trying to make it through. You know, TikTok about to be banned. Number one, taxes. Yes, I know what they are. I know how they work, but at the end of the day, why am I giving my money to the government? Like, you're telling me I work hard all year and then you get a cut of it? Matter of fact, everyone who's working regular jobs, their taxes are already pre-withheld. Like, I used to think my check was about to be so fat at my first ever job, but then I got my check and I'd be like, oh, $96. Wow. Thank you. All the things I was gonna buy for myself are now like crossed out because all of a sudden I have no money. I'm exaggerating, but I thought I'd start off with a lighthearted one. Number two, forgive and forget. No. Literally no. No, but like seriously, why am I forgiving and forgetting? For your comfort? Like, I swear, people would be like, aren't you supposed to forgive? It's like, no, you just want to be back in my life when you didn't even take accountability for the snake shit you did. You deflected it and then tried to make it my fault somehow and then gave me some half-ass apology wrapped up, and I'm supposed to accept that shit? Literally bye. But simultaneously, I'm actually very overly forgiving. Like, I'm in a period of my life right now where I'm forgiving people that I might regret forgiving, but it's like I gotta see. Like, I gotta see it. Even if I know in my heart and my soul that this person is gonna be up to their same bullshit, I have to see it for myself, because if I don't see it for myself, I'm gonna be in my head about the what ifs. Yes, the cognitive dissonance is dissonancing right now, and I understand that, but at the same exact time, for the girlies who self-sabotage a lot, you get it. Which brings me into number three. How do you self-sabotage without being aware of it? I don't know if it's just me. I'm a very self-aware person, and I'm not saying I'm perfect. I know that I mess up sometimes, and I've had to take accountability for certain things in my life, but at the same exact time, when I know I'm doing some shit that's against my highest good, I feel like I'll know, but I'll still do it. That's what sucks about being self-aware, is because like, you'll know that you're doing something that's like not in your best interest, and you'll have to look in the mirror and be like, what happened to you? Like, what happened to you in your childhood to be like that? And this video is more of a funny video. It's not like one of my serious ones where I'm like, heal yourself. You know what I mean? I have different sides of myself, which brings me into number four. I don't get how people can't understand that there's different sides to someone. Like, the side of someone you see on the internet isn't the only way that they can interact. I don't like giving people my Instagram when I first meet them, or giving people my social medias. Like, it's not something I really like bringing up, because I feel like once people know your internet personality, you can never be anything else but an internet personality to them. But niche specific literally isn't a thing, and I think that's so dumb, because it literally puts you in this little box, and like, if you don't post this type of content, you're never gonna get anywhere and nobody's ever gonna want to follow you. Bullshit. No, I don't like that. Number five, breaking out of the comfort zone. Now, this is something I feel like I have learned, but also haven't learned to an extent. I feel like my comfort zones are just repeating patterns. Like, I'll be in a completely new, different era of my life, but still have certain patterns in my life that was from like 5 eras ago. And then it'll get me questioning in my mind, like, oh my god, am I crazy? Am I the same person I used to be? Am I self-sabotaging? Am I doing this? No. You're not gonna be a new person overnight just because you start a new gym routine, or you start a new job, or you get out of your comfort zone. You're still gonna be left with yourself at the end of the day. And that's one thing I really dislike about about certain self-improvement content, not all, but certain self-improvement content makes it seem like you're just gonna like reinvent yourself immediately, when that's just not the case. It takes time, and even after all of that time, you're still going to feel certain things that you were given from family traumas, from life traumas, just because it's who you are. I don't know, like certain things about yourself you're gonna still feel. And true self-love isn't rejecting a certain part of yourself or being in denial of it. It's seeing the entirety of who you are, the good, the bad, the ugly, the parts of yourself that you wish weren't there, and going, I accept it. Not because I know I can't change, not because I'm accepting these bad, negative parts of myself, but because at the end of the day, I'm working on them. I'm actually growing as a person, and I can see that growth tangibly, because old me wouldn't be even thinking like this, right? Like old me wouldn't have the realizations I have now. And I think that's why I believe so heavily in the idea of forgive old you for the lack of awareness you had, because sometimes we do things out of lack of awareness, but now that we are aware of them, what are you gonna do about it? That doesn't mean your slate is like wiped clean, but how can you overcome this obstacle in the best way possible? Number 6, I haven't learned the balance of productivity and rest at all. I am constantly stuck in this feeling of not being good enough, and it comes in waves. Like for example, I'll work super hard on a video of mine, but it won't turn out the way that I wanted it to. Then I'll punish myself by making myself work 10 times harder, and then I'll guilt myself when I actually do take the rest and the space I need. Put a finger down if you're doing that right now. Right before this, I looked at a video I made a couple of days ago when I was pre-recording all of these videos, and I genuinely felt like I wasn't myself. Like I literally had to scrap the entire video. I don't know if it's just the energy right now, I don't know if I'm not in alignment, but sometimes I really guilt myself over not being productive enough or good enough. And so a lesson I really haven't learned is to just chill out and realize that like my worth isn't connected to how hard I work. And that's one thing that I preach to you guys, like saying, hey, you guys should not attach yourself to your productivity, and then here I am doing the same damn thing. I'm like, girl, why don't you just be authentic and make a video about all these things that you still need to learn? Because I feel like that would be more relatable than you just coming on here and being like, you need to be nice to yourself. Number 7, people don't change. This is a controversial one. I believe that people can change, but I often think that we are more attached to the change itself than we are the person. This can also be the phase of life you're in as well. For example, I'm in a phase of my life where I'm seeing a change of someone who I had to distance myself from. You never know what someone is really going through, and especially when it comes to people who have certain addictions or relationship patterns or things like that, you should distance yourself from them 100%. And at the same exact time, if they're proving to themselves that they want the change just as much as you want the change or other people around them want the change, they can get out of that situation. It's up to you to set those boundaries of if you want this person in your life or not. And that's what's so hard at the end of the day, because I think we get obsessed with the idea of people instead of the actual reality we see. Like, ask yourself what the worst possible scenario of letting this person back into your life is, and if you're willing to take that risk or not. As I get older, I'll probably not feel this way, honestly, looking back, because I know a lot of people are like, oh, believe people's actions, not their words. I do believe people's actions, but I'm also the type of person that gives someone the chance to prove their actions to me, and if their actions really aren't matching up with the words, I have no problem cutting it off. Number 8, I haven't learned how to validate people's feelings. I have if it's a logical thing to validate, but if it's something illogical where your feelings are conflicting with a truth of mine, like you feel like you didn't do that and I'm sorry if I hurt you, I hate that. I hate when someone apologizes, I'm sorry that you feel that way. No, I feel this way because of you, that's why I feel this way, because of you. What are we talking about? Like, why are you acting like you aren't the reason why I'm feeling the way I feel? And now you're arguing about feelings instead of the factual reality. No, I'm not gonna validate your feelings if your feeling is literally contradictory to the reality that happened to me. You're living in a different world than me. You are living in Delulu land. I'm in reality. The real action that took place hurt me. When you try to tiptoe around it and then try to find something from my past that I did that hurt you all of a sudden, it's like, why are you deflecting when my emotions are because of your actions? Ah! Which brings me into number 9. I haven't found the balance between being a pushover or being a bitch. It's either I'm a doormat or I'm a dick. It's for sure my fault too, and I think people pleasers don't understand their accountability when it comes to boundaries, because it's our fault when we disrespect our own boundaries and someone does exactly what we thought they would do if we let them disrespect our boundaries. Duh, that's gonna happen. That's why the boundary is there. I've had to experience that time after time after time to really drill it into my head. They're not gonna change. They're not gonna do this. You gotta stand on business. You can't let people walk all over you. And this is a theme of my life with parents as well as romantic partners and friendships. People will always mistake my kindness for weakness to the point where it's turned into my own isolation. Which brings me into number 10, okay? Isolation is more comforting to me at this point than connection. And that's a very scary place to be. And I think a lot of people are at that place in this day and age, which is why we form such strong connections with people on the internet, or we can have like our comfort creators that we watch. If I'm that for you, comment down below, or if I'm starting to be that for you, this is the first video of mine that you're watching, be sure to subscribe, like this video, do all of the things. But it goes back to that comfort zones thing I was talking about earlier. It's easy to be in your comfort zone because comfort is predictable. We can predict what we're gonna expect in the comfort zone if we don't go out every weekend, if I stay inside and edit my videos. And don't worry y'all, I'm breaking outside of my bubble. I was genuinely about to drop out of school because I got my associate's degree, but then I decided to transfer and get my bachelor's, so I'm going to school full-time this semester. But I've always been the type of person where I've kept things private to myself because people have taught me time and time again, I'm gonna manipulate you, I'm gonna do this to you. But then I crave connection. And if you're like that, I don't have a solution for you in this video. This is just me kind of ranting, and I'm glad that you're here. To end things off on a positive note, remember that your inherent worth is not based on external circumstances or things. It's okay to not know what you're doing with your life. You don't have to have it all figured out right now. A lot of people assume that because we live in a day and age where we share our lives with everyone, that like we have to have it figured out. Everyone's pretending at the end of the day. I never know if this opportunity of YouTube is forever, and that's why I need to take steps in order to show you guys these vulnerable parts of myself, because I don't want you guys to just see me as a YouTuber. I want you to see me as your friend. I understand the feelings you're going through because I've been through shit. With that being said, you guys, be sure to go check out the Get Your Shit Together community. And if you want to keep up with me over on my Instagram, go follow it at mylifeasetch, and then my TikTok, which is about to get deleted. Hey, whatever, follow it if you want, if it's still there. You guys said you like more videos where I'm unhinged, so y'all asked for this. I'll see you guys next week.